People, what's up? What's up? Do another live today. Just talk a little bit about um, the birth of humans. The starting point of humans, based on science. You know, I really don't believe it, but anyway, today we're gonna talk about where did um, everybody in the planet came from Africa or birthed from Africa. And based on the science history, we're not going to go far back as the pyramid soup, water, and, Darwin theory. We're not going to go that far. We're just going to go based on human development in terms of the present day humans that we are today, right? Which means we're going to go from the split, right? Because, based on the science, they say we split from. There was a split between I don't remember if Homo erectus. I can't pronounce Homo florendius or whatever. Can't really pronounce the humanoids names. They're kind of confused a little bit. But anyway, there was a split after a point where they had chimpanzees and then humans. That we came from monkeys, so they say, but there was a split that created the humans and the monkeys, right? And just to be sure, if you guys, like the video, give me a subscribe, leave a message, I can respond. Um, and maybe future, in the future, we could have, some of these conversations. I'm a little bit tired, so excuse me for that. Anyway, I just wanted to share this real quick because it's something I was listening to a feed. I should check out the short. I think I posted in the short where this guy was, he asked a common sense question, and that's the same question I've been asking for a while. So I decided, let me just go online and just talk about it for a little bit. So what I'm going to talk about is after the split between humans and monkeys, the continuation of the human race, right, or the human section of it. And based on science, I said we migrated, years and years ago, millions of years ago, to different parts of the climate, and over doing these travels, some people stayed, some dark skinned because they always dark skinned, every single one of them, right? But once they traveled outside of Africa to different parts of the world, England, China, Americas, Canada, Australia, South of the Union, the Caribbean, Middle East, all these landmass, Greenland, every single one of them, right? There was different population. Well, they evolved based on the climate that they moved to. That's what science says. I do agree there might be some truth to it in terms of adaptation, but the only thing, the common sense is this: if science is right and say that all humans evolved, basically came from Africa, they migrated out of Africa and then transformed into who we are today, in terms of black, white, white people, with the white features, blonde hairs, straight blonde hair, basically no melanin in their skin, very low melanin in their skin, to Asian people who also have straight hair, but not the same straight hair as white people. Because there's Asian straight hair. It's a little bit more. How should I say? It's a different texture. It's a different texture. Um, and then we have Indians, and then we have natives that also have straight hair, kind of. And then we have, if we want to talk about the Mongolites and all those people. When it comes to the Middle East, I think the Middle East is more of just mixed white people, mixed in with the Africans that was there. I don't think the Middle Eastern people was just typically fair skinned, with straight hair type stuff. No, I don't think so. I think they got their features between a mixed race of people. So anyway, the migration is from Africa, and the conversation is if of all people, if Africa was the main factor of all human race on this planet, then everybody is black. No matter what your skin tone is, you're black, or you're African, or you're a descendant of African. Even in the continent of Africa, they do have, different races of people. Even though they all skin tone, dark skin tone, and they still have straight hair. Some of them got blonde hair, some of them got blue eyes, silver eyes. You know what I'm saying? You got the albinos. You know what I mean? So, as we all know, a dark skinned person from Africa or black, aka black person, can have a light skinned child. There could be two dark skinned parents, and the child can come out light skinned. It could come out white. It could come out brown hair, black hair, red hair, blue eyes, green eyes, and the both parents are genetically black. Like the skin tone is thick melanin, right? On the white side, they only can have white kids. They can have different color hair, different color eyes, all that good stuff, but their skin tone is gonna remain the same. While on the black side, their skin tone can be very different, right? In various colors, right? Two black parents, two white parents having children, the kids gonna generally be white. Yeah, it might come up blonde, they might come up black hair, but they're still gonna be generally white. The skin tone, the melanin gonna be very low. Two black parents, different shades of skin tone. It could be dark skin, light skin, as they call it. They could very light skin, almost look white, albino, and different shades of color, hair, eyes, so forth, so forth. Um, I kind of disagree that we are all black, but if I was to listen to science, then we are all black. You know what I'm saying? No white person. I mean, they use genetics to show that the reason why the African people who moved to like Europe, up to the Caucasus Mountains, even in China, places like those, even into America where people are more light skinned, the reason why is because of the climate, as they say. So let's use, North America, South America, for example. Well, let's say North America. In North America, you have warm areas and you have cold areas. You go to Canada, it's the same thing, right? And I guess they're trying to say the natives are typically light skinned or brown, if you want to call it that, because of the not so harsh cold temperatures. So you have some days to be super warm, where you could get fresh greens, a lot of provisions. You could actually, have a garden and stuff like that. And then other times it'd be super cold depending on where you live. About 3 months to 6 months of the year, depends on where you live. It can be super, super cold. You get a lot of snow. So I think that's what they're trying to say. Now, if you go to China or Asian countries, if you want to say that, when you come more closer towards South America, you're going closer to the Middle East. Um, Before you hit China, because after you pass China, going more to the west, it becomes really, really cold. You get a lot of snow. You go to South America. I mean, um, what you call it, Korea, North Korea, South Korea is really cold. Upper in I guess you call it the hills area in China is get really, really cold. Certain parts of Japan also get cold, right? But the more you come down towards India, it's typically warm, right? It doesn't really have a lot of sun. So you get more darker skinned people, which Asian people, depends on where you are dark skinned. If you go more up, I guess you want to say northern side of Asia, you get more lighter skinned people where they said it is more colder. Now, as you come into the Middle East, if you go towards the Caucasus Mountains, as you can see, you know, it's typically white people, and then if you come down to the Middle East, it's typically like they're not so dark, but they kind of look white, but like more like a light skinned white person, more a light skinned black person, white skinned person, but they're not really white, if you know what I mean. And they have the hair texture and all that good stuff. And then when you come more into Africa, the more darker the people become. The common sense, and look, I know science is one thing, but I'm just trying to common sense the conversation. And the thing is, if the true that all human race, all humans came from Africa, or Africa was the beginning of human race, then yes, everybody is African. I mean, descendantly by bloodline, right? Everybody is African, or everybody would be considered to be black at this point because your birth rate is from Africa. So, which means if you, in today's time, because you move to a different country and you evolve to adapt to that climate and your skin tone change, it doesn't change the fact that you're still black, African, or you're AKA African, right? And that's that's the issue that we. Matter of fact, if that's true, if that was so 100% true, why they don't teach this stuff in school? Why they don't teach in school that all races of human beings evolved from Africa? As they migrated out of Africa, they adapted to the climate they went to, and that's where they stayed. Why don't they promote that and make it 100% an educational factor in schools so kids can come out of school knowing that the human race came from one place and then we separated due to, you know, skin tone because of the climate that you live in. And in the context of separation to the skin tone and climate that we moved to, we kind of, I would say there's a lot of distance in between the race of people. Now there's some issues there because I mean, I don't know how it would work because, if you have the same bloodline, you tend to have more issues because you're passing on the same blood, which is more, the same genetic, problems or whatever. But I guess because it's like, based on thousands of years or whatever, when a group of people go for one location and they spend thousands of years in that area and then they came back, when they come back to the original tribe, I would say they're not the same people anymore. They might develop more different features to that area that they moved to. But I don't think it changed the fact that there's still one race of people. Now, and like I said, on the science level, I agree. If Africa is the birthplace of human race, then all of us should be able to get along and understand each other. I'm not saying we're not going to have issues, but I'm speaking about the understanding of it. Nobody out here should be this black and white conversation. We should not have this black and white conversation because we all came from the same race of people. Unless some people rejecting their race. You know what I'm saying? which means they're going against their mother. They're going against the people who created them, if that's the case, which is not a good thing. That's like, you're having children and your children growing up. You don't raise your kids to be grown men or grown women, and then after you done, once they reach the age of them to be on their own and they feel safe to go out and do what they want to do, they look at you and say, "We don't need you anymore. You can be gone now." Or better yet, they probably eat you, or get rid of you. Just abandon you and say, like, you did your job. We don't need you no more. Go about your business. The betrayal, right? Anyway, I'm not going to stay long. I just wanted to really point out that simple. I call it common sense. When common sense sensing, that's my way of saying it. Okay, when common sense is sensing. But basically, what I'm trying to say is the common sense of the whole concept is if black people came, the whole generation of race of people on this planet today extended from Africa. 'Cause if it wasn't for them, based on science, we wouldn't be here unless we like different alien species from different places, or different plot of the earth had its own race of species. However, that was developed on this planet. But science doesn't show that. It shows that all humans came from one place. Those people spread out and then adapted to their climate and became who they are today. But today we are treated the same people for birth life as if that doesn't mean anything. So we basically fighting against our mothers and fathers, our grandmas, our grand aunties, our ancestors, which is our family members, and we're turning our backs against them. We're basically hating them for giving us life, because we're now pushing back on those same people, the people who don't look like you, or pushing back against you, and even the people who look like you. But anyway, with that said, man, common sense is sensing. I don't really agree to the whole concept, but if I'm going to go with science, that's what science said. If we all came from Africa, then we all black. That's just what it is. But I'm not going to stay long because I'm a little tired. I guess you could leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. I will respond to the comments, and give me a like, subscribe. Okay, peace out. Until the next video. Oh, we could do another conversation. We could have actually, I'm gonna do another, pushback, a little research pushback on this conversation, just to show what I'm talking about. But until then, peace.